Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, or wherever you are. Nice to see all of you. We just returned from a great week-long retreat with Lama Surya and Lama Roger, and I see some of you who were there. Thank you for joining today, a way to keep our practice going. And it was a great week after 4 years. I was telling Dory and Eddie that one of the nicest things was being able to chant together and hear other voices and merge those voices. It was beautiful, and the teachings were wonderful. And Dory is helping with tech today, and Eddie Hauben, a long time friend of Lama Surya's, will be leading us today, and he just got back from retreat as well, and he'll be sharing some of that with us. So if you have any questions, please put them in the chat to Zogen Foundation. And Eddie, I will turn it over to you. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, and appreciate it. Good morning, all, or afternoon, or evening, depending upon where you are. I wanted to welcome everybody on this. Actually, here in New England, it's rainy and cold after 3 days of unbelievable beauty and transition of the seasons and getting used to that. As Memla said, I just came back from an 8-day silent retreat at the Insight Meditation Society's Forest Refuge, which is a place I've gone every year since it opened 20 years ago. And it's a remarkable experience, different than what many of you just experienced. Basically there's no talking. It's completely in silence, and you're on your own routine. But it's extraordinary time, as I'll try and share with you a little bit today, about the process of exploring the mind and the heart. And hopefully this will be a day of metta practice for all of us in these troubling times, and that we're gathered here to share that. I'm going to read some things related to that, particularly in terms of metta practice, and then we'll do some practice itself. So maybe first we just want to settle in and pick your energy spot and find that place either through your breath or just a little awareness practice on the body, and just allowing everything to settle in and become present in this moment, and basically nowhere to go and nothing to do. Just being present with your own heart and mind. Feeling the quiet and the stillness. Taking that moment for yourself. Using the breath or the body, sounds as your anchor, and a way of just attuning to the possibilities of being present. Tuning in with your state of mind and quality and presence of your heart, being together in this environment. While we're sitting quietly for a few minutes, I'd like to read the Buddha's words on metta that can be found everywhere, but this version is from Sharon Salzberg's book on loving kindness, the revolutionary art of happiness, and we'll be practicing today the metta teachings of the Buddha. This is what should be done by those who are skilled in goodness and who know the path of peace, skillful, not proud and demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove. Wishing in gladness and in safety, may all beings be at ease. Whatever living beings there may be, whether they're weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short or small, the seen, the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all beings be at ease. Let none other deceive another or despise any being in that state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another, even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child. So with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upward to the skies and downward to the depths, and outward and unbounded. For those of you who were on retreat recently with Surya, I have it on good word that you were all enlightened. That it was, you all got enlightened. So I want to allow you to share that with us. My retreat was a little bit different, but I'd like to share some of the quality of mind that I had on retreat, and also to share how important retreats are for any of you who have not been on a silent retreat or guided retreat or one with Surya or other Buddhist or spiritual traditions. It's an incredible and important time to allow your spirituality to unfold and to evolve. And this time was very, I don't know if the right word is painful, but the sorrow of what we're experiencing in the world today, particularly in the conflicts in Israel and Palestine and Ukraine, the suffering is just great. And for all of us trying to hold that in a way that allows us to continue to function and be a positive force. And I just want to read you what I wrote. This was after about 2 days of sitting. And it kind of framed my whole practice for the day, and then carrying on, and then thinking about being here together with you and how we could be in community and hold these thoughts or ideas or how our hearts are doing. But this is the impact that it had on me. So it said, listen, humanity, please stop this insanity. I heard on the news the other day a father say to the reporter that he now regrets having brought his 2 children into the world. They had survived. They were not hurt. That they should experience such tragic brutality. What is it that can reduce one of the most miraculous life events, bringing children into the world, to a regret? Have we sank so far that we have forgotten our humanity and our ability to care and love one another? We are interconnected in our humanity. Whether Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Buddhist, we are all striving to be happy, do good, and to love and be loved. So the heart, the feeling of heart, and being able to hold all of this, humanity. I mean, this is thousands of years of, interesting enough, in our training, particularly Surya stresses it, the defilements of the greed, hatred, and delusion, the primary characteristics of Buddhist teachings, and the basis upon which these human beings can do these acts of violence to each other. And so I'm hoping that in this morning of practice that we'll be able to hold that in a way that makes us have the ability to be present with this and also to grow and learn from it. I want to read from Thich Nhat Hanh in his book, Being Peace, talks to this as well in the 3 Gems. It says, many of us worry about the situation of the world. We don't know when the bombs will explode. We feel that we're on the edge of time. As individuals, we feel helpless, despairing. The situation is so dangerous, injustice is so widespread, the danger is so close. In this kind of situation, if we panic, things will only become worse. We need to remain calm, to see clearly. Meditation is to be aware and to try and help. So I think he kind of brings it into the light of our practice in the moment, and our practice for all of the times that we sit down quietly and in our waking daily world. Again, the challenge, or one of the being on retreat with your own self, is you get to watch your own mind. And I learned something this time profound about my own practice. I had written a little while ago on retreat, I come up with this idea, and maybe this is appropriate for you, is what kind of legacy you want to leave your kids or your friends or people who are close to you. And I have 3 sons, and my wife and I have been married 50 years. We just celebrated our 50th anniversary, so we have a long-term journey together. And we've made, it's amazing just to think about that, being in a relationship and trying to do that as best we can. And I'll talk a little bit about that later in terms of how we've been able to sustain that relationship. And before I went on retreat, I was explaining to Menlo, I asked Surya for some pith instruction. And I also met with Joseph Goldstein, who's an old friend of mine, and their offerings I'll share with you because they really, they got down to the essence of practice for me. But regarding legacy, again, it came at a retreat, and I wrote it down and presented it to them and got different responses, but I really thought it was important. But in this context, I learned something very important on this retreat about it, and I'll go over that with you. This is what I wrote. I said, for my boys, a legacy. Excuse me. If nothing else, treasure that you received from me in exposure to the Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha. My father said many times to me that his search was to find peace of mind. Don't know if he ever did, but I have. Along with a spiritual journey of insight, loving kindness, wisdom, and compassion. In your wonderful busy lives, family, children, friends, and work, there might not seem that you have time, but I offer to you that there's no more important endeavor for you to start and pursue a spiritual path. Which one is up to you that will bring you true happiness, peace of mind, and liberation from suffering. And may your spiritual journey be a legacy you leave your children, family, and friends. And so I offered that to them as what, as opposed to the idea of some kind of generational wealth or things or property. This is what came up for me. And what I learned to keep peace here is that my father, when he was talking of peace of mind in one of the readings I've been doing, is that you can't have peace of mind. You can have peace from mind, but the nature of mind is to be restless. So you can't undo the nature of the mind's capacity to create chaos and cause all the suffering that you have. And so I explained to my son that I needed to alter my legacy because I had found a fallacy in my perception and my thought about it, and that it really was one of those moments when you have an insight and a profound moment comes up for you, that a way of thinking about the world that you're in and your mind and your practice changes. So that was really a wonderful moment on this retreat. And for me, being on retreat has always offered those kinds of moments that when the mind is quiet, and again, not peace of mind, but peace from the mind, and there's stillness, there's a quality that allows the internal insight to emerge. And these have been a fabulous offering to myself and my own practice all over the time. And I'll just add, this was a poster that we did for Lama Surya, one of his teachers, Dilgo Kensei Rinpoche. And it's just a short quote. It says, mind creates both samsara and nirvana. Mind creates both samsara and nirvana. Yet there is nothing much to it. It's just thoughts. Once we recognize that thoughts are empty, the mind will no longer have the power to deceive us. So let me talk to you a little bit about this pith instruction from our friend Surya. I've been reading trying to locate it. So maybe a little history from Surya and I. We've been friends for about 40 years now, and I feel like spiritual spiritual travelers, Dharma bums, on the path. And our lineages cross many spectrums, from the Tibetans and the Vipassana tradition, which I'm more familiar to, some of the Hindu traditions and Ram Dass's teacher, Maharaji, and readings from different sources. And one of those is a book this is called I Am That. It's by Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, if you've heard, is an Indian saint who lived in Bombay. And Jack Kornfield and others went to see him, and it's question and answers. And the fascinating thing about reading somebody like this is that all the answers are the same. It's really a fascinating part. The questions are, quite complicated and different, but the answer is that there's an undeniable world behind our mind, a place of stillness and of total compassion that connects us all together and reveals the interconnectedness of life and being a human being on this planet. And I asked Surya for his pith instruction. I told him I was reading this book, and he said, okay, well, it's called I Am That. He said, leave the big book alone and just practice not that. So that was Surya's advice for my tree retreat. I asked Joseph the same practice, and the last 2 years he said the same thing to me. It all comes down to non-clinging. The practice of non-clinging, whether pushing away or whether desire or aversion, the ability for the mind and the heart not to cling. And so what I did on my practice this retreat was not I, not am, not that, and not clinging. And not clinging to not I am, and not that. So I spent my time sitting on the pillow working with those notions about self and trying to uncover and discover for myself that place behind the mind and its capacity to drive us crazy, to keep us intensely, constantly creating new suffering for ourselves. And the clinging is really, from Joseph's point, the key to that, and not to get stuck with any of these ideas or notions or the goals that we set for us. But I must say, I've been practicing for 60 years now, and I'm just starting to get it. So hang in there. There's hope. The journey is long, but fruitful. And as I said, in terms of my family life and some consistency there, so it's really a tribute to finding, and as I said with my kids, a spiritual path. One that can lead to true happiness, and to give you the skills or the tools to be in an environment that is so crazy and is constantly creating suffering for ourselves and others. So I would like to read to you. Surya sent me this yesterday and gave me an update on the retreat, which he very much enjoyed. And as Menla said, these past few weeks, he seems to be in good form, that Surya Das of ours. So he lives near me here in the Boston area. So we get together quite a bit and share our progress and lack of progress together. And just one of the beauties about Surya Das is that he's brought a great joy to this practice, of spiritual unfolding. And I always find that refreshing when I start to take it too seriously. Take myself too seriously, my mind too seriously, my practice too seriously, whatever it is that we do about, clinging. He's always a good reminder that, that's not the only way to approach or to be with the challenges of being human. So, but he sent me this one. It was from David White's Essentials. It's called The Journey. It says, above the mountains, the geese turn into the light again, painting their black silhouettes on an open sky. Sometimes everything has to be inscribed across the heavens. So you find the one line already written inside you. Sometimes it takes a great sky to find that. First, bright and indescribable wedge of freedom in your own heart. Sometimes with the bones of the black, sticks left when the fire has gone out. Someone has written something new in the ashes of your life. You are not leaving, even as the light fades quickly now. You are arriving. So that's from our buddy Surya as of yesterday. So trying to put some perspective again on the importance of practice in terms of whatever the one that you choose that resonates with your own creative spirit and your own spiritual needs and interests. Just to stick with it. That's why they call it practice. You got to do it. You got to pay attention. You got to do it. Another friend of mine, John Kabat-Zinn, who's kind of the grandfather of the mindfulness movement, show up, sit down, and pay attention. At some level, it's fairly simple, not easy, but simple to imagine the practice being that way for us. And it's been really rewarding for myself. Again, these silent retreats at the Forest Refuge, they're unstructured. So they have there's a general schedule. I mean, they do a metta chanting in the morning at 6:20, and there are reflections by a teacher at 8:30, and then they ring a bell. There's one bell a day at noon for lunch, and then they have a snack at 5, and that's it. And twice a week there'll be a Dharma talk. And for me, it's been very rewarding or necessary to be in that space, to find my way. I have 3 kids. We're expecting our 6th grandchild in a month. My wife's sister is dying from cancer. We're in the full tilt catastrophe of life. We're aging. We've had medical problems. A lot of our conversations are, I call them the organ recitals, which many of you might be familiar with. That, we get together and people are now, it's become our new conversation mode, thinking about this process. So we've had some, difficult medical times, and now we're back from those, but we're just aging again, and what that stage of life means for many of us, and what it means in terms of our children. And there are probably some of you might be familiar. There's the Buddha's 5 subjects for frequent recollection. This is a very profound and powerful tool for understanding our relationship to the body and to life and death. But if you're not familiar, basically it says, I am of the nature to grow old. I have not gone beyond aging. I am of the nature to get sick. I have not gone beyond sickness. I am of the nature to die. I have not gone beyond dying. The 4th one, which is the for me was the most interesting and challenging, is that all you have grown to love and be fond of will grow otherwise and separate. So the notion that what you have now you think might be your own in whatever form that takes, will have to give up and will no longer be that. And so for a person who's aging, thinking about, well, I'll miss my grandchildren growing up, or I'll miss this, or I'll miss that. That took me a while to really pay attention to. The 5th one is that you're the result of your karma, that your actions and your deeds are is what your karmic condition is and who you really are. And that's a good, very good practice to pay attention to this evolving life that we're in, this spirit of the life that we're in. What I'd like to do is we're going to do some metta practice. I have a couple of more. This one you might enjoy because it's a little bit lighter, and it's from Mary Oliver. And it's just things, these are, kind of pieces that have struck me. It's called I'm Meditating, Sort of. It says, meditation, so I've heard, is best accomplished if you entertain a certain strict posture. Frankly, I prefer just to lounge under a tree. So why should I think I could ever be successful? Some days I fall asleep or land in that ever better place, half asleep, where the world, spring, summer, autumn, winter, flies through my mind in its hearty ascent and its uncompromising descent. So I just lie like that, while distance and time reveal their true attitudes. They never heard of me and never will or never need to. Of course, I wake up finally thinking, how wonderful to be who I am, made out of earth and water, my own thoughts, my own fingerprints, all that glorious temporary stuff. So I'd like to go on from, I think we can, it's a good point to lead us into the metta practice. If there's anything at this point anybody'd like to share, I'd welcome. I feel that this could be an important time if these kinds of issues are on your mind that you'd like to share in this community. So again, for Dory, if you want to write them in the chat group, we can answer them. And we're going to leave time after the practice part, which we're going to do now, just to give you an idea of the process that we're going to go through. And I think I've read you all my pieces. I have one more before we go into this process, which again from another tradition. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Meher Baba. There's another Hindu saint that a close friend of mine actually is a follower of. And through the years, he's been a spiritual mentor and guide. And interesting, took a vow of silence, which he never spoke. He was silent for about 25 years. And he wrote everything through a letterboard. But I feel like this is the one piece he wrote, which is consistent with everything that I've read this morning and everything we're sharing, and of what's really important about practice, what's really important about what we're doing, and how to be human, and how to help and support each other. This is called The Game. And it says to penetrate into the essence of all being and significance, and to release the fragrance of that inner attainment for the guidance and benefit of others by expressing in the world of forms truth, love, purity, and beauty. This is the sole game which has any intrinsic and absolute worth. All other happenings, incidents, and attainments can, in themselves, have no lasting importance. So why don't we take this time to practice loving kindness and metta practice. And as you'll see, if you've not done it before, it includes, it starts with ourselves. And there's a saying the Buddha has about, you can look far and wide, but there's nobody more deserving of forgiveness than yourself. And so this practice, I like to start with that saying, and then this practice brings it to, starts with the practice of metta for oneself. So if you have a comfortable position, we're actually going to do the practice now, and just maybe a couple of deep breaths, and just to find yourself present. A lot of things, a lot of words have been said. Hopefully some meaningful. If not, no problem. Just let them rest. And to conjure up in your mind the wonder of life, spiritual practice, the unfolding of loving kindness and the Brahma Viharas, loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity, and the fruits of our practice. And with that energy, focusing our attention on ourselves. And whatever terms you like, whatever works for you, I'll recite some, but please introduce your own into it. And a time for just reconnecting. So may I be well. May I be strong. May I be happy. Free from mental and physical harm. May I live life at ease. And these sayings are usually repeated 3 times. In Buddhist tradition, 3 repetitions is a significant characteristic. And between the sayings, we can take the deep breath and to just honor these words and the feelings that come with them. May I be well and strong. May I be happy. May I be free from physical and mental harm. May I live life at ease. And for the third and final time, still taking our attention to our own well-being and self, the importance of honoring and being with ourselves, and feeling the goodness in our heart. May I be well and strong. May I be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May I live life at ease. Now expanding our heart and including someone dear to us, partner, spouse, child, friend, and wishing for them. May you be well and strong. May you be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May you live life at ease. And for a second time, bringing this person to bear in your mind, dear one, close friend, spouse, partner, someone who brings you joy, comforts you, and is there to help you. May you be well. May you be strong. May you be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May you live life at ease. And for a third and final time, bringing this person into our heart and wishing them well, for strength. May they be happy, free from mental and physical harm, and live life at ease. Now bringing to mind a spiritual teacher or mentor, somebody who's helped guide you on your path, has nurtured you, comforted you, supported you. Bring that person to mind. Again, may you be strong and well. May you be happy, free from mental and physical harm. And may you live life at ease. For a second time, thinking about this person who has guided you along your spiritual path, has comforted you, brought insight to your practice. May you be well and strong. May you be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May you live life at ease. For a third and final time, again, bringing that person into your heart. May you be strong and well. May you be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May you lead life at ease. Now a neutral person, someone you might encounter in the grocery store or on the street that you don't know but you do notice, bring them into your heart. And wishing for them as you have done for the others. May you be strong and well. May you be happy, free from mental and physical suffering, and may you live life at ease. And once again, bringing this neutral person to mind. May you be well and strong, and may you be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May you live life at ease. And for a third and final time, bringing to mind the neutral person and wishing for them well, strength, and well-being. Wishing for them happiness, free from mental and physical harm. And may they live life at ease. Now to bring to mind a difficult person, somebody that you have been challenged by and has created challenges and difficulties and possible unresolved issues that annoy you, and just difficulty in one's life. May they be strong and well. May they be happy, just like us, free from mental and physical harm. And may they live life at ease. And for a second time, we bring that person, that difficult person to mind, someone we have unresolved conflict with. It's been annoying, or some problematic relationship. May they be strong and well. May they be happy, free from mental and physical harm, and live life at ease. And for the third and final time, bringing to our mind and bringing into our heart a difficult person, someone we've been challenged by, and wishing for them. May you be well and strong. May you be happy, free from mental and physical harm. And may you live life at ease. And now to bring it to your mind, all of us who are gathered here together, practicing, may we be strong and well. May we be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May we live life at ease. And for a second time, may we hold each other here, gathered together to practice and wish for each other. May we be strong. May we be well. May we be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May we live life at ease. For the final time, thinking about us all gathered here together, having in our heart, being together in practice, holding the world. May we be strong and well. May we be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May we live life at ease. And finally, for all beings everywhere, may they be strong and well. May all beings everywhere be happy, free from mental and physical suffering and harm. May all beings everywhere live life at ease. And again, bringing and opening our heart to the world as wide as we can to include all beings everywhere. May they be well and strong. May they be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May they live life at ease. And for the final time, holding our heart as wide as we can, place for all beings and all the suffering. May we be strong and well. May we be happy, free from mental and physical harm. May we live life at ease. And just to end this practice, I'd like to read Surya's Millennium Prayer to just bring this all together for us. May all beings everywhere with whom we are inseparably interconnected and who want and need the same as we do, may they be awakened, liberated, healed, fulfilled, safe, and free. May there be peace and harmony in this world, an end to war and violence, poverty and hunger, inequality and oppression, greed and cruelty, pandemics, famine, droughts, earthquakes, all kinds of natural disasters. May all be free from fear, harm, danger, anxiety, and insecurity. And may we all together complete the spiritual journey, one beloved community, one circle, one family, all the way home. So thank you for showing up. I'd love to hear if there are any comments or feelings that people are dealing with or holding. Happy to talk more about practice, my own, and how it's going. But I've been attracted something. And Suri's always calling me Metta Man. I mean, he's got a nickname for everybody. So it's a practice that I feel really deeply about, and really, particularly in these times, helps us hold each other in a way that we can work, through this. Manla, I see you have a hand up.
Yeah, I have a general question for you. Thank you for the practice, by the way. I love doing metta, but this has come up as a question before, but I think it's a good time to maybe hear your view on it. Mm-hmm. If somebody has a difficult time doing metta for the difficult person, say they've been physically harmed and now they're being asked to wish them no harm, how do you resolve that and work through that to be able to do that practice for somebody who might have harmed you?
I think that's one of the most challenging parts of the metta practice. Well, sometimes it's the I that many people can't reach, but other than that, this difficult person. For me, what I think is helpful is the idea of looking into your heart about what that hurt is. And certainly in these situations, one can change the pattern. If it's too painful, just to stay away from it. Go back to yourself. If you were the recipient or the victim of it, that maybe you need more of the healing, and the difficulty of sending it out to somebody else is really challenging. So it's not, there's one aspect, try to go through it. See what it feels like in that moment of saying that, and what this person has or hasn't done, and the others leave it alone. It's just there's no right or wrong. It's just it could be too difficult, and certainly self-trauma, and childhood trauma or things that many times I spent, Insight Meditation Society has a teen retreat, and I worked on it I was there at the founding of it. I worked on it for 30 years or so. Every year we have about 60 teenagers who come. And this is one of the aspects of practice, which is that, and we've had feedback from parents saying that when you go quiet and you look inside, and as we all know, everything comes up. If we're sitting with ourselves and it comes up, and some things are just too difficult. And so in that setting, it was to work with these young people to not deflect, but to not stay with something of the pain, not to raise that again, that the idea was not to raise any more pain or conflict, but to have the ability for that person to hold either themselves in a better way or eventually hold that person in their heart in a way that could be helpful. It's a challenging process to go through. Did that happen for you, Menla? I mean, have you had that experience and the difficulty of going to a difficult person?
A difficult person, not anybody who physically harmed me, but just somebody who was a difficult person. And one of the things I did was start with people who were less a pain in the neck, and then worked up to that person.
Yeah, that's good. Right. There's no really, I mean, I was going to use the word need, but there's no reason to sustain any further hurt. The practice is, if it shows us anything, is the ability to care for ourselves well. And I think in this practice, it certainly has a capacity for transformation, and that's really the meaning of of loving kindness, is the ability to, and particularly now in the suffering of the world, we need to see each other as ourselves. And the real dilemma is that we don't. We see each other as other and can't imagine being the other. And only in that way can I understand that we could perpetrate the kind of, cruelty that we have for each other. So again, a practice that resonates with people to hold some of that in a positive way.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We have a sort of question. Mel said, I think you said you talk about being married for 50 years. I'd like to hear that.
Oh, good. All right. So the other, it's interesting. The other thing that you offered, one, it's been quite a journey, to say the least. It's been a commitment of, patience, tolerance. I know for myself, without the practice, it probably would have been unbearable in terms of having tools to be able to sustain a relationship for that period of time. And I think just from my offering a perspective, the one thing that we've learned is we're able to say we're sorry sooner. So that is a component of the relationship that has definitely made this aging time more possible. The other thing is, I was with Joseph Goldstein. The other thing he offered was a mantra. About mantras for this process, because he had a couple who were friends, and the person had an early some type of dementia, and they were struggling with communication, which has been for myself and my wife also. And he said that what they came up with, which I thought was beautiful, was don't correct, connect. And it just struck me as a way of now engaging in a positive nature to figure out what the frustration is. And it has really stuck with me, and I've been sharing with lots of people, because I think it really touched on the ability to communicate in these, as the aging process goes on, or even not at any time. It happened with my grandson, and I realized that I had said something that disturbed him, and it was like, I was trying to tell him to do something he didn't want to do, and there was a better approach. So that we have three boys, and we have one son who is divorced, is now remarried, and is having a child in 3 weeks, our sixth grandchild. So that's when we have an older son whose wife has been the real, probably, you're talking about difficult people. She's probably the one that comes to mind for me, our daughter-in-law, who's, we have good friends who are in the psychological world and basically has some type of personality disorder, and her world doesn't include us. So, and they have our two elder grandchildren, 16 and 14, and she won't let us see them. So you can, imagine what that feels like. And so how do you hold these? How do you hold all these things? And I would go back to my practice, that it gives me the possibility. For one, right now, it's like, what I tell myself in the situations, particularly with these difficult ones, is mind my own business. Don't interfere. Just listen, try and understand what's going on and what the needs are, and then operate from that place. And that's been helpful. I think some basic levels of who puts the dishes away and who doesn't. And does your partner put the dishes correctly in the dishwasher, or are the forks and spoons in the right place, and who left what out, and we have all of those dramas. Interesting for us in terms of, we're talking about having a relationship that's lasted this long. Our youngest son lives directly across the street from us with his wife and two kids, so we see them all the time. Our middle son actually bought the house we're in, that they grew up in, and he owns it now, but we live here. So the condition was that we'd sell it to him, we'd move back, we'd renovated the whole place, and we moved, but we put in the grab bars, the high toilets. We made it more comfortable so that we could be, everything's brand new electric, new plumbing. So that's for our relationship, an evolutionary piece that's going on. Life's an adventure. As Joseph said to me, what a wild and crazy ride it's been. So I think that's from a practice and personal points of view. Okay, thank you. That's my favorite topic.
Thank you. And so thank you everybody for being here. In the chat, it talks about donating to Dzogchen Center so we can help more people and help Lama Surya carry on his mission of transmission. And then membership. Membership's awesome. There's discounts, there's special programs yearly that we get to go to, and just pretty incredible as well. And don't forget, next Saturday, Green Tower, the Green Buddha, Caring, Self-Care, and Beyond, next Saturday from 11 to 1. So I don't know what your week looks like, but mine is crazy. And I'm going to be signing up for it this afternoon, and I hope to see you there too. So thank you all again for being here, and have a wonderful day. And thank you, Eddie, very much. It was amazing. Thank you. So take care, everyone.